is the story of how I got to where I am, which is in my 3rd year of grad school as a Doctor of Occupational Therapy student. To be honest, I didn't have enough time to both film this video and get ready. So I'm gonna get ready while I film this video. So I grew up in Washington State, in Spokane, Washington. Great town, great place to grow up. And that's where I fell in love with like sports, the outdoors, all of that. I played soccer and then I ran track to stay in shape for soccer, and then I like dabbled in basketball, but mostly I played soccer. And in high school I took a sports medicine class. And that class kind of coincided with a lot of soccer injuries for me. I had some hip problems, as one does. And so I saw a physical therapist. And of course, the athlete to physical therapist pipeline is both in terms of being a patient and also wanting to be one professionally. It is a straight shot. Yes, I do think I have curly hair. No, I'm not gonna do anything about it to make it actually be curly. So, got interested in healthcare in the sense of like becoming a physical therapist. Ended up just kind of continuing to pursue that path. Got good grades in high school to go to college, and then I moved to Colorado for college. I went to Regis University, which is a small Jesuit school, and I chose Regis for like 3 reasons. One, my mom worked at a Jesuit university, so I could get a tuition exchange. I talk a lot about finances. My undergrad was covered because of that tuition exchange. Huge privilege. 2, I chose Regis because I wanted to move somewhere out of state, but I wanted it to be culturally similar to where I grew up because I really liked the culture of where I grew up. That's Colorado. 3, Regis had a really good physical therapy program, and so I wanted to do my undergrad somewhere that would set me up for success in potentially going to a well-esteemed PT school. But you're probably wondering, Sandra, you don't go to PT school. I studied health and exercise science for my undergrad, again, with the goal of going to PT school. And also I was just like generally interested in the stuff that I was learning, so I really liked that major. And then in preparation for PT school, I was starting to get my shadowing hours. So if you're not familiar, for a lot of healthcare graduate programs, you're gonna need shadowing hours in the field. PT, OT, both very similar paths to go through. Oh, real quick, this is gonna be a trust the process situation, okay? Anyways, I went and I shadowed at an outpatient ortho clinic. The easiest place to get in. And first of all, I thought it was incredibly boring. And my PT that I was shadowing, I remember one day he saw 8 total knee replacements in a row. And I know that's just one field of PT, but I wanted to scream and I wasn't even doing the job, but it was so boring because he gave them all the same exercises, which I also, looking back on, he probably shouldn't have done that. Because I can guarantee you they didn't all need the same stuff, but he just handed them the same piece of paper, so it wasn't very client-centered, but whatever. On that experience, a different day, I had a couple patients come in, and I remember asking, well, okay, well, how's this person gonna do their laundry? How's this person gonna take care of their kid? How's this person going to cook for their family? And it was all boring ortho things, so maybe that was part of it, as I was like, trying to make it more interesting for myself. But the PT made a joke, and he was like, oh, you should go talk to an occupational therapist. And I was like, why? And he was like, well, they do that stuff. And if you aren't familiar, there's a lot of differences between PT and OT, and there's also a lot of overlap. But I would describe OTs as the architects and PTs as the engineers. PTs are focused more on the structure and making sure all the parts are working together. Or OTs are focused on taking all those parts that are working together and making sure that they can actually work in a functional capacity. So we still care if you have range of motion in your elbow, or the range of motion in your knee, or the strength in your legs in order to participate in your functional activities, but we care about it in the context of functional activities. PTs say ADLs, but they really just care about the function of the body. Or like that's the nuance in a way. I mean, we could talk about this forever. So anyways, he was like, you should go talk to an OT. And I was like, what do you mean? And he was like, well, that's what they do. And I was like, well, that's what I want to do. I care about people being able to participate in their lives. And so I did an internship my junior year of high school. I did an internship my junior year of college that was with an OT, and she did pediatric autism. She did not do ABA. I personally have my own opinions on ABA and they align with hers, but she did work with kids with autism from an occupational therapy standpoint. My spring semester of junior year, when I was doing this internship, happened to be spring of 2020. We all know what happened then. Let's see, January, February, and 10 days of March, about half of March was spring break. So I got about 2 months of this internship under my belt. Found I really loved OT in a peds setting, specifically with those kiddos. Went and secured myself a summer shadowing opportunity in acute care. Figured I liked it, so I wanted to do more of it. And then lo and behold, the world shut down, and both my internship and that summer shadowing opportunity went to crapola. So I was like, I think I like OT, but I still have a year to figure it out, which is good because this was junior year of college. And I was like, there's no way the world will stay shut down this whole time. I'll be able to get experience. And then before I applied to schools my senior year, we all know how that story ended. I did not have the opportunity to get more experience. And then senior year rolled around and I was on the fence of applying or not applying. I felt really connected to the field, so I found some OTs that I was able to interview and talk to them about the field. Oops. And at this time I was like very between, like I've been on a PT path for 5 years now, 4 years. I can't just change my mind because of 1 3-month experience that I like, but I also felt really called to the field and I did not feel a connection with physical therapy the same way that I did with OT. I felt a connection to healthcare and therapy as a whole just because I liked rehab. So I chatted with some OTs, asked them about their experience, chatted with some PTs, asked them about their experience. This summer between my junior and senior year of college, PT and OT applications opened. I created accounts with both OT and PT CAS. I was gonna apply to both OT and PT schools. But I had kind of decided that I was just gonna apply super narrowly and then see how the finances worked out and like if I even got in. I think I had like a 3.8 GPA. I had a Spanish minor, health and exercise science major. I think I had a I might have had a neuroscience minor. I don't actually remember. I'll have to go back and look. And so I was just like, I'm gonna apply to schools in Colorado and then 1 school in Washington and just see how it plays out. So I applied to 2 Colorado OT schools. At the time there were only 2 Colorado OT schools. One was a doctorate and one was a master's. And then I applied to 1 master's program in Washington State. And I actually didn't end up finishing my applications for physical therapy school because I decided I wanted more experience if I was gonna go to physical therapy school, so I didn't apply. Lo and behold, I got into all of the schools, which actually made my decision a little bit harder because I was kind of like, now I have to commit to this field or not. So I ended up talking to a few more people, crunching the numbers, figuring out if I take a gap year, what is my total like opportunity cost and what is my total cost gonna be? Am I gonna decide on OT school anyways? And I kind of just felt in my gut that the answer is gonna be yes. And so I decided to go to the doctorate program. Since then, I have fallen in love with neuro rehab while in school. Sorry, the fan just kicked on. And I want to work in an inpatient setting. I really like the flow. I like how challenging it is. A lot of people have problems with productivity. I have my own issues, but I do like to be busy. I like to be at the early stage of care. I like the team environment that is inpatient rehab. And I really love the functional focus of occupational therapy. So all in all, I made the right choice, both in how I explored OT school and also in what school I chose. I'm glad I stayed in Colorado because my close friends and support system are here. Yeah, that's my story of getting into OT. If you're interested in applying to OT schools, you can watch some of the other videos in this series here. And don't forget to like and subscribe. It really supports me and supports my channel. Thanks for listening.